Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy, the Strongest Wizard, and today is the day we talk about OP02, and in particular, we're going to be going over my boy Law. We're going to be doing a deck profile on him, an updated OP02, and it's really funny because in OP01, this deck is a freaking menace, super good, and in OP02, we actually get a lot of new useful tools that Law actually can utilize, and yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the deck profile. Alright guys, so here we have the Law, my boy Law right here. Shout out to my boy Shanks, and shout out to this beautiful Law mat that I designed. So pretty much we're going to talk about the one cost first. We're going to put my boy Law in the corner real fast. So we have the brand new Makino here. She's a one cost red card, 2k counter, 0 power of course. Activate main, you may rest her, and up to one of your red characters with a cost of 1 gains 3k power during this turn. Pretty powerful. There's really only like, I mean, 2 targets that, I mean, I guess there's a couple targets that you could do this with, but mainly kind of like one target that you could actually use this ability with. Other than that, I think she's like a really great 2k counter. And so pretty much what this deck really added is from OP02 is it added like a ton of low cost efficient cards. So of course we're still running the 4 of Capone. We need to run this card. It's a blocker. We only have 4 life, plus it's green, plus it's a supernova. It's really good. Next is we of course running the 4 Nami. This is obviously standard. There's no other way. Nami is Bay Nami, so we have to do it. Searchable through all Straw Hats. 2k, really good target for Makino. Makino making her a 5k, being able to swing is pretty handy, honestly. Next is Chopper. Of course, 4 of the 1Ks, and as you can tell, we're just continuously going for more 1Ks. And of course, going after that, we have the Bonnie here at 4, of course. And we keep the 1Ks coming, and it's the Otama. So pretty much the only thing new here is the Makino for the 1Ks, for the 1 cost. And in replacement, I pretty much had Momonosuke's, and I was running 2 of them. Everything else is literally the same thing. So going over our 2 costs now, we have our 4 Brook. I think Brook is still a really good card. Still searchable through Nami. Its ability is really good. Pushing advantage. If you ever need those 2 Rested Dawn, it comes in handy. You never know when you need it, honestly. And it being a Straw Hat, just still really good, you know. Next card we have here is our last 2k cost card, and that's Curly Dan over here. And this is a brand new card released in OP02, of course. 2 cost, 3k power, 1k counter, and pretty much on play you search the top 5 for a red character that costs 1, and then you put the rest of the bottom of the deck. And yeah, this pretty much literally grabs us any of the red cards. So Tony, Nami's, Makinos, Otamas, literally able to search all 4 of these different cards is super good. It's also a 3k card, so you could swing with it if you wanted to. It's not a bad or crazy idea. Next is we have another brand new card, and that's Vista, which we of course are running at 4. This card is absolutely busted. It's a 3 cost, 3k power card, 1k counter. He's a Whitebeard. And on play you can pop something on your opponent's side of the field with 3k power or less. This is kind of nuts because yeah, normally you can pop off like things like, you know, anything that you've just seen, blockers, just things like that. But on top of the fact that you can use it with Otama, so you can actually get rid of some pretty hefty cards like Zoros or things like that, that are unsuspended, just by playing the Otama. You know, getting rid of a Hancock or whatever the case may be. Still really relevant, still really good. I'm gonna be playing it at 4. Next card is we have a little bit of a spice here, I think, and that's Zoro. Shout out to my boy Thomas for putting me on to this card. I did see that some players in Japan or in Asia were running it, but I kind of didn't really see the capabilities here. And if you don't know what this card does, it's from the red starter deck. It's a 3k 3 power, I'm sorry, 5k power, 5k power, and it's when you attach one Dawn to it, it gains plus 1k. He does not have rush, but he is a supernova and of course a straw hat. So he's swinging with one active Dawn to it. He's swinging for 7k consistently, which is really good. Really good, and we'll see why later on. I am still playing 2 Zoro though, of the rush Zoro, because I think with this meta, it seems like being able to pick off characters is really easy in this set. So I'm actually going to double down on the Zoro rush, but I am going to show a little bit of love to the starter. I am still currently testing with this list. Of course, if you feel like there's anything you might need to change, I'm kind of testing ratios out, of course, but yeah, right now I'm sticking with the 2 rush and the 1 starter deck. The card that I was actually really thinking about cutting actually is the Luffy card, which I'm running at 1. This card is obviously really good. No counter, of course, but being able to go through your opponent's field and going for life without worrying about blockers is pretty insane. But yeah, I mean, I'm running it. I'm still going to run it at 1. I don't think I'd probably change it, honestly, because you never know when you need it, and it's just really good. So next is we have 2 X-Drakes. X-Drake being a supernova as well as a 6k counter, 5 cost, or 6,000 power, 5 cost, 1k counter. And of course, when you on-play this card, you pop, you kill a character that's rested of 4 cost or less. Extremely relevant. Pops Zoros, Hancocks, any of these cards that you see here. It's just really good. So Marcos, pops Marcos. Yeah, I'm running it at 2. I think it's really good, and I think the 6k is actually really relevant against Whitebeard as well. So having the 6k is really strong. Next is something that I've actually increased from my last list, and that's the starter law here. Starter law being able to restand a supernova on play with a cost of 5 or less to active is insanely good. Last time I believe I was running him at 2 or 1, but he is now a 3 of copy in my deck, and I'm actually considering even running a 4th one. And this card is so good with the Starter Zoro. Starter Zoro with this card is so good because if you're swinging at least with 1 active Dawn on him, that's like 7k swinging twice. If you shambles and bring him out, it's really good. So yeah, I can restand X-Drake as well, and of course the Luffy. So nothing new there. And last character of the bunch is going to be 4 Law. I mean, this deck would be nothing without this card, honestly. Still really good, of course, a 4 of. And then the last 2 event cards is going to be 2 Pistol. I know I see people running 3/2, but I think 2 is really good. I think 3 gets too cloggy, honestly. Sometimes I hate seeing this card in hand, and if I mulligan into this opening hand, like the other day I opened mulligan into 2, yeah, it's just bad luck, but I just hate that feeling. And if I had 3, I would be in a worse position. So I think overall, guys, this is a really good place to start, honestly. If you wanted to tweak some things, if you notice, I'm not running any Izos. If you notice, I'm not running any Nekos. I kind of feel like you don't really need it right now. And if you do, then, by all means, you can run them, and you could even run the Momonosuke package again if you really wanted to. But I just feel like this is really efficient, cut clean, and just overall a really good place to start, I think. But I do have some other cards that I was going to play that I will show you guys, just because I think it's kind of fun to know. And that's going to be some of these cards here. One card I was actually really considering playing, I was thinking about cutting an X-Drake initially for a Zoro here, which is from the OP02. He's a 4-cost 6k vanilla with 1k counter. He's a supernova as well as a straw hat, so he's actually searchable through, of course, through Nami. He's a green Zoro, of course, but he's a cheaper X-Drake, so he's a 4/6, similar stat line, but of course he doesn't have that ability. The reason why I didn't end up going with this after all is because for one more I can just pop something. That's just way more value, honestly. You could try this out. It's an efficient X-Drake that can be restood by law, but honestly, there's a reason why I ended up cutting this card. So, but I did try it out. And then, of course, more Luffys, more Zoros are always good. Kind of playing around with that. But yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. I hope you really enjoyed the deck profile. And stay tuned because I have a ton of new OP02 content coming out soon. See ya!